When will I be good enough to be all I wanna be? When?
I think trauma, we have a huge gap as a country in terms of filling in the trauma. And I'm not even talking about dealing with individuals. I'm just talking about the whole aspect of what happens to communities, like the one I was telling you about before, during the Turubi massacre. Those kids, those children who survived that massacre, and then they grew up to feel so painfully that this happened to them and it shouldn't happen, have happened to them. Mm-hmm.
Do you feel, Alison, there's a lot of trauma still held here within Kenya?
There is quite a bit. Much of the work that I do now is around bringing together communities in conflict, getting them to speak. And I've been involved in these extremely heavy projects in Rift Valley. And Rift Valley really is where Kenya's ethnic conflicts are brewed. We had conflict in 1992. It always happens in the election years. So we had 1992, 1997 again, people died. 2000, people died. 2002, and then now the big one, 1997, 1998. So we had these people whom I must introduce you to, who come from the two communities, the Kalenjin and the Kikuyu. They have never, ever even considered sitting together. And I began this project and then got support from the commission, and the chairman came on board and everyone, and we got these people to sit together, and we got the elders, because the elder community is very powerful. The people who you are around 60 years old, you are expected to be wise. Even if you are not, you have to
expected
to be wise. People listen to you. When your daughter is getting married, if your son wants to marry a certain girl, you don't go and tell her father. You look for elders, you send them to go and tell her father, so and so's son wants to marry your daughter. So the elder community is very, very important.
Yeah, I love that.
And they have kind of lost their in the conflict areas. The elders have lost their eldership, in the sense that they began to be the ones who were organizing the conflict in terms of funding the conflict, in terms of sending the young men out to go and attack other communities. And we started a project where we told the elders, you have to regain your dignity as the owners of the community, the owners of the ideals and the values of the community. So then for them, sitting together with the enemy was a huge, huge problem. But finally we got them to sit together. It took us a long time.
How did you to manage that?
How did we plan it? We sat first with a group from we began with the Kikuyu elders. We sat with them and told them, we've come to you, you know us, we are from the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. We were created by Kofi Annan, and they have a lot of respect for Kofi Annan everywhere in this country. People name their children after him. Yeah, because of there was quite a lot of children who are named after Kofi Annan.
Brilliant.
So walking in with his name opened quite a number of doors. And we sat with them and told them, we want to know what it is you have against the Kalenjin. So then they told us all these stories with all this bitterness. And we sat there and recorded everything, wrote everything down. Then we went and sat with the Kalenjin and told them, we want to know what you have against the Kikuyu. Why do you hate them so much? And they said, we hate them for the following reasons. These are the names they refer to us with, the derogatory names. These are what they've done to us. So it boiled down to, really, it's about respect. It's about respect. So there are things that can be dealt with through the law, like the land issues, but really it's about respect. Then we sat together with the two teams of men, the elders and the elders on the other side, and we told them, and they wouldn't even speak to each other. They were sitting on one side and on the other side. And then we planned this strategy, and because there was 3 of us, so there was myself and there was 2 men. So the chair, and then there was another gentleman from the National Steering Committee on Conflict Management from the Office of the President. And we decided to disarm them by me telling them what the problem is.
Yes.
So I stood there, the chairman said, oh, you know, she'll tell you what you said about each other.
Oh.
And they couldn't believe it. You know, they sat there and you could see on their faces, they were thinking, we didn't tell you this so that you could go and tell someone else.
No.
Yes, but then he said, you know, you really have to be elders now. This is the moment when we discover, we find out whether you're an elder or you're not.
Yeah.
So then I stood there and I read out and I said, this is what the Kalenjin hate about the Kikuyu, this is what the Kikuyu hate about the Kalenjin. And the tension, there was so much tension in that room. And you know, they've had killings on both sides. So it's always been very, very tense. It's taken us 16 months. And now we've gotten to a point where they were telling us the other day that we would tell them we need to pray, and they wouldn't close their eyes. We didn't know. So we'd close our eyes and they would all be staring at each other, you know, thinking like, this is what we need to do. So now they are the people we are using on the ground. Instead of us going to the ground, they are the ones who are going from village to village. And we've paired them up, a Kalenjin and a Kikuyu.
Wow.
And they're going from village to village. And first they told us that they don't know whether it's their message that's so powerful or it's a shock of people seeing them together.
It's like, what?
That is like, how did these two get together? And they stand there and say, my name is so-and-so, you know me. Because they're really prominent. We picked really prominent people. Mm-hmm. And my name is so-and-so, you know me, and I'm Kalenjin. And then the other one says, my name is so-and-so, you know me, I'm a Kikuyu. And we've come to talk to you about peace. We've come to tell you must live together. Yeah. We've come to tell you that our children must marry each other. We've come, and it shocks everyone.
I was surprised.